Charter Township of Plymouth Board of Trustees regular meeting, August 12, 2025, 6:31 p.m. Roll call.
Trustee Buckley is excused. Trustee Clinton?
Here.
Supervisor Kermey?
Here.
Treasurer Dorshevitz?
Here.
Trustee Groth?
Here.
Trustee Stewart?
Here.
Clerk Borba, here. We have a quorum.
All right, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda for August 12th.
Mr. Supervisor, I move for the approval of the agenda for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025.
Second.
Second by Groth.
Does anyone have any questions or comments on the consent agenda?
Does that include the minutes?
Yes.
I do. I just need to make a brief correction on the minutes that are dated Tuesday, July 22nd for the June 24th meeting. D1, approval of proposed minutes. It says trustee Buckley, she supported to approve the agenda for Tuesday, June 24th. It was to approve the minutes for June 24th.
Minutes, okay.
Just
Okay, so
a
typo.
minor thing.
Minutes.
That's on page 4 of 314.
Yes,
So noted.
thank you.
All right, I guess we can have a roll call.
This will, yeah, that was just for the, we need to just have a yea or nay for the approval of the agenda, and then we'll have to have a roll call on the consent agenda. So all in favor of approval of the agenda? Say aye.
Aye.
No? Pass. Mr. Supervisor, I move for the approval of the consent agenda for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025.
Second.
Second by Clinton. And this will require a roll call because there are several resolutions on there. Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Supervisor Kermey.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorshevitz.
Yes.
Trustee Groth.
Yes,
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Clerk Borba. Yes, motion carries.
So this is public comment time on non-agenda items. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Richards. I am your community liaison, Western Wayne, for Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And I'm here today just to tell you about a citizens program that we have coming up. It's Citizens Academy for Wayne County Sheriff's Office. It's a 6-week program starting September 16th. It's 1 night a week.
One second. Yeah. Either
Can you hear
that is- Yeah.
Pull that closer, yeah.
Okay. You can hear me? Okay, there we go. That better? Okay, so it's a 6-week program. It's called the Citizens Academy. It's open to everyone that's in Wayne County. I am looking specifically for people that are in Western Wayne, kind of the cities and townships that I manage and oversee. We have a lot that's already in, people that's volunteered that's in Detroit. But I want to hear, we would love to hear from people in Western Wayne. So what it is 1 night a week, which will be Tuesdays for 3 hours, 6 to 9 p.m., 6 weeks. Starting September 16th, you'll get to engage with leaders within the community. You'll be involved in like ride-alongs, the inner workings of the jail, all of those sorts of things. It ends with a ceremony, a graduation, and it's really your opportunity to have a voice and let Wayne County Sheriff know what it is that your community needs specifically. So I do have applications with me. If there's something that you're interested in and know for sure, you can take it with you, complete it, and send it back. Or if it's something you want to think about, or you would like a electronic version sent, I will give you my phone number, and that is 313-213-0889. Again, 313-213-0889. I'm Stephanie Richards. If you're interested, shoot me a text and just say interested with your email, and I will forward that on to you.
What night of the week is it?
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Oh, instead of these meetings?
Tuesdays evenings.
could miss those nights, right?
Yes, so, but it would be great. So again, if you know of anyone, if you're interested yourself or know anyone that is interested, say, hey, they're really involved, passionate about engagement and community, we'd love to have them. So
Where's it located?
it will be at the
jail or-
new Criminal Justice Center,
Okay.
which is at 5301 Russell in Detroit. So
Okay.
that is where the sheriff is housed, that is where my office is through the day, but that's where it will be.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you. You sure can.
I'm Dwayne Zantop, I guess you all know that. I am very disappointed the FOIA reports posted on the board packets are very vague and have been redacted of detail. We no longer know who submitted a FOIA or what they requested. This is unacceptable because it is obvious to me the FOIA information is being hidden because Robert McCurdy is being coached by our former supervisor, Kurt Heisey, to ambush and harass people in this new administration. And now we cannot see what this FOIAs consist of. I had a FOIA, one of the McCurdy's FOIAs, that seemed to backfire on him because he never used it. It seems to have slipped through the cracks because it was an exit interview of an employee in the clerk's office, and it was not very favorable for Mr. Vorva. It revealed that she quit because she was honest and had very little to do. And she was subjected to voter intimidation. I don't think this information, he approved this information slipping out. Oh no, this information needs to be hidden from future FOIAs. In a newspaper article dated February 28, 2017, Jerry Vorva stated Plymouth Township clerk says that the barrage of Freedom of Information requests in this office he has received in the last 2 weeks is part of a scripted political ambush aimed to harass the new administration. So now it appears the ambush directed by our former supervisor and FOIA'd by McCurdy are now acceptable as they are hidden from the public. This is not acceptable. The public has the right of full disclosure. However, I think we could make exceptions for domestic violence and sexual harassment cases.
Anyone else? All right. So we'll move on to section F, which is new business. Item 1, which is MITC, which is Michigan International Technology Center, reimbursement agreement for parcel 10, the Jones 5 Mile LLC. And this is a water supply and tank for a building and surrounding other future uses to supply water, especially in the event of a fire. And this is the largest building built in Plymouth Township since about 1967. It's a speculative building. So we're going to have a short discussion from Steve Mann, our Brownfield attorney. We also have Dr. James Harless here, who is our Brownfield consultant. So this can be sometimes a little complex, so that's why we're going through this. We approved on June 24th the agreement authorizing me to finish the contract and sign it with the developer. So we've negotiated with Spalding Decker's aid and Steve Mann and James Harless. We've negotiated with them and value engineered the contract with the general contractor who will be building this under the direction of Jones Development. Go ahead, Steve Mann.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor, members of the board. You have before you the proposed reimbursement agreement that's been approved by the MITC board. It's also been approved by the developer's attorney. It provides for, as the supervisor indicated, reimbursement for public water infrastructure that's being installed by the developer to extend the water main and to establish a storage tank. It's anticipated that the township will be reimbursed about $2.6 million of the project, and the developer slightly less, about $2.3 million. And those will be from brownfield tax capture from the parcel and the corridor, the MITC corridor. This is essentially very similar template to what you've approved in the past for MITC projects, the reimbursement agreement. Happy to answer any questions.
I got a couple.
Sure.
Together, that's $5 million. What happens if the cost of this, of this project exceeds $5 million?
It's not anticipated to exceed 5 million. If it did, there'd have to be a change order that would have to be approved by the board.
So it wouldn't shut out the possibility of additional capture. It would,
Correct.
you'd have to amend this.
Correct. If the cost was over 5 million and the board approved that, there would be available additional capture from the corridor.
Okay.
The risk is low. I mean, Jeremy, you can weigh in on this. You've already done a lot of value engineering and analysis of the quotes. We have hard quotes from the general contractor that have been analyzed.
Yeah, correct. So we have probably gone through 4 or 5 rounds of negotiation and back and forth on the pricing. So they actually have hard quotes from contractors and subcontractors, and we vetted that against the plans and done a whole slew of back and forth. But
Okay.
the other key thing to note is that the developer is actually going to be the general contractor for this project. So they're going to be the one paying the contractor. The township is just paying them back for their portion. So the only portion that the township is paying is the $2,426,000 that we sent in the earlier email.
So then this will be paid back by capture, because what makes this a little complicated is that all of the parcels that make up the MITC are considered part of parcel 13, right? And so that capture, all the tax capture from every project goes into one big bucket. And what's going to come out of that bucket, if I read this right, is first priority is to pay back Northville Lumber. Second priority is to pay back the township of Northville Township. And then this project is third.
That's correct. And then future projects in the corridor would follow this project, that same type of waterfall of funds.
So when this project, when we start to get paid back, do we get paid back after Jones, or do we get paid back at the same time? And you get
paid back at the same time.
Okay, I think I misunderstood that in my first read through it, because I thought I saw somewhere where we were subsequent to Jones, but then I.
It's proportionate. You'd be paid back proportionately.
It's a proportionate.
With Jones, it has to be
Okay.
a split.
Let's see what else I had in here.
Well, how much money do we have left in the brownfield?
This is not money that's in the brownfield.
This is going to be recaptured as it goes along.
So this is going to come out of water and sewer.
Ah,
So that's one of the, but we'll get paid back. We're going to have to front $2.7 million, and but we won't get paid back any interest for that, right? There's no provision for interest.
That's correct. That's correct.
So do any of these projects have provision for interest?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay. So that's, there's some loss of opportunity that'll probably be $300,000 or $400,000 in potential interest we would have earned. But the money's in the water and sewer fund for a reason, and so as long as that's understood. Let's see what else I had. There was there was a sentence I didn't understand, a paragraph, but I'll send you an email and ask you to explain it rather than try to do it right now.
Be happy to.
There's a strong possibility that this may be paid off before the 7 years, because we've used conservative assumptions with just the buildings that have firm site plan approvals. Just since we've negotiated this, there's been 3 speculative buildings that have been in early stages of proposal to the planning commission, well, to the planner. And so those buildings will capture much sooner than normal, because they plan to get started potentially just after the winter in the Ridge 5.
Now, it's my understanding that they're going to deed over the water tower or the water facility to us?
That's correct.
Okay.
And 1 acre of land that it sits
goes
on.
Yes.
So we are gaining asset.
Right. The tank is concrete because over 100 years, it has much lower cost than a steel tank, and it's ground level tank. It is not elevated. Any more questions? Go ahead.
I just have one brief one. Steve, is it common that interest is not a factor in these agreements? I mean, he asked the question, and I'm just curious, because we're putting the money up front. Is it common practice not to have an interest allocation set aside?
I would say it is, and it is for the MITC, and that also saves you from having to pay the developer back with interest as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Supervisor, motion to approve the MITC reimbursement agreement for parcel 10 Jones Development, JD, 5 Mile, and authorize the clerk and supervisor to sign the same.
The second? Second. Go ahead,
Second by
Mark.
Clinton. Okay. Clerk Borba, yes. Supervisor Kermy,
Yes?
Trustee Groth,
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz,
Yes?
Trustee Stewart,
Yes.
Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you for coming. Item 2, and this will be our planner, Liz Hart will help me with this, but this is a text amendment to the zoning ordinance number 99, providing for additional exterior lighting and dark sky for commercial and industrial developments. This is an effort to reduce the light pollution from commercial and industrial buildings. It is a trend in the country to design and install lighting fixtures that are more directed to the ground, and to reduce the negative effect, not only on humans with light pollution, but also, for example, in the summertime, pollinators are sometimes disturbed from doing their pollinating, predominantly bees and butterflies and things like that. So this is something that Liz will give us a little bit of background on, and we're hoping that you agree to it, since it's focused predominantly on new developments that are commercial.
Thank you, Supervisor Kermy. Good evening, members of the board. Again, my name is Liz Hart. I am with McKenna, one of the township planners here. And this is for a text amendment to the existing exterior lighting ordinance, section 28.8, aimed at strengthening the dark sky protections specifically for commercial and industrial developments. The enclosed draft text amendment was developed with the intention of improving the township's existing regulations regarding exterior lighting for commercial and industrial properties, with an emphasis on establishing greater requirements for lighting when such uses are adjacent to residential uses or zoning districts. These updates are intended to reduce light pollution, enhance nighttime visibility and safety, and align township regulations with best practices for responsible outdoor lighting. By incorporating these dark sky provisions, the Plymouth zoning ordinance will better support environmental sustainability, community character, and long-term compliance with best practices for lighting standards. The Planning Commission did review these amendments and held a public hearing on July 16th. There were no public comments, and the commission unanimously recommended the text amendment to the board for approval. The next steps are for the Board of Trustees to take action. As it is a text amendment to the zoning ordinance, adoption requires an affirmative vote by a majority of the members of the board. The text amendment must be approved by at least 4 members of the board, not a quorum of members at the meeting. I will note that part of making these text amendments was to help make the code easier to read. And in terms of foot candles, they have been reduced in general, specifically for commercial and industrial, with specifically commercial next to residential. Those are reduced a little more. That's my very brief overview of the text amendments, and I'm happy to take any questions if you have any.
So Liz, this is, applies only to new construction or new remodeling.
Yes, only to new construction.
Yeah.
If you look at page 164, you'll be able to see that how the Planning Commission has clarified things by providing diagrams, which makes it easier. I know personally, by trying to shop for dark sky fixtures for residential, it's very difficult to find them. So this way you have a picture to point to and say, I want something like this. All right, any questions?
So all existing lighting in these areas will be grandfathered in. We have no authority to
Correct.
ask anyone to change it.
We have to use, well, I think to enforce, we would be using we have an ordinance already, but we'd have to make a judgment. Because this is a new text amendment, we'd be using the old standards.
So if some of these buildings make dramatic changes, at that point, will they have to then come in compliance with these new?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have some big buildings coming, like the one we just talked about, the Chevrolet dealership on Ann Arbor Road, and several other ones that unfortunately we missed Virginia Tile, but Plymouth Flex and some of these other large commercial buildings will be affected by this. And many of them have already said, even without the text ordinance, they'd be willing to reduce the light pollution from their developments.
But existing businesses don't have to run
No.
out and replace all their lights.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to adopt Resolution 2025-08-12-58, authorizing adoption of the text amendment to the zoning ordinance number 99, amending Article 28 to provide additional exterior lighting standards and dark sky provisions for commercial and industrial development as recommended by the Planning Commission.
Second.
Second by Groth. Supervisor Kermy.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Clerk Borba, yes. Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Trustee Grove.
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So F3, which is a little more exciting, it's a selection of a towing contractor, Mayflower, which incidentally is the incumbent. And towing contracts always create quite a stir since there's a lot of money and a lot of activity associated with towing. So we're going to have Assistant Chief Dan Kudra tee this up and describe what we've done with competitive bidding and what our intention is here.
All right, thank you, sir. So on the 16th of May, the Township of Plymouth posted on BidNet a invitation to bid for towing services for the Township of Plymouth. We requested that sealed bids be submitted to the clerk's office no later than June 16th. We did receive 3 bids. Those bids were from Mayflower Towing, Great Lakes Towing, and Livonia Towing. Personnel from the police department reviewed each of those bids thoroughly. We conducted site visits at the 3 facilities that submitted those bids. And after that process, it's our recommendation that the contract be awarded to Mayflower Towing. Mr. Treasurer, as part of the packet information, you had some sheets up there, an Excel spreadsheet that had some pricing information on it. If you want to try and get to that portion. There you go, you just went past it. So. So while you work on that, I'll just go over this a little bit. So the three towing companies that bid on this, I put this sheet together to kind of compare pricing and their insurance coverages. Their insurance coverages are all very similar. As far as the pricing goes, anything that you see highlighted in green, that's the low bidder for that particular price category. So Mayflower was the low bidder on the majority of those categories. Anything that you see in yellow, those tow companies had the same price for those particular categories. And then in additional notes from that bidder, you'll see that Great Lakes Towing and Livonia Towing, their additional notes were primarily related to additional fees. Mayflower Towing, their additional notes, and this was all information that they submitted in their bids, which each of you folks on the township board should have got those bids in their entirety.
Here's, somebody needs hard copy, there's right here.
Okay.
What page is that in the board packet?
You know, I can't find it in here.
I'm not either, that's why I'm asking.
It wasn't included,
She sent it, emailed it to us.
and she posted it
Yeah.
on the website separately, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I submitted that to the supervisor's office. But the other notes for Mayflower were all kind of additional things that they were gonna do to help out township residents. So, you know, township residents get 2 days of free storage. Lockouts for township residents with ID were gonna be half price. They were gonna perform lockouts with child in the car for free, and that was for anybody township resident or not. And then another note in there was that all of their trucks are equipped with 3 cameras, which they can real-time monitor. As far as the site visits, you know, they're all good companies. You know, it's not like folks from the police department went out and visited any of these tow companies and were disappointed or felt like they couldn't provide towing services adequately. But what I will say is that when we went to Mayflower Towing, I mean, I was really blown away by how clean everything was, how level, and I don't know what they did to their parking lot where the cars are stored, but I mean, there was no vegetation. I don't think that it was a paved surface, but it was like treated somehow, and there was no dust. It was just very impressive, all the facilities out there. As far as pickup hours go, you know, they do have set office hours, but the folks at Mayflower indicated that if somebody works midnights and they need to come in at off times and get their cars, that's not a problem. There'll be no additional fee for that. All of the towing bidders kept an electronic inventory. All of them said that the police department could have access to it to check and verify whether cars are in there or not. Mayflower has the capacity to store the most vehicles of all the towing bidders. I don't think we'll ever get anywhere near that capacity. But at the end of the day, after we looked at all of the companies, we felt that Mayflower offered the best combination of pricing, facilities, and equipment. They have vastly more equipment than any of the other bidders. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that any members of the board might have. I know that Mayflower Towing has some representatives here. I don't see anybody. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if there's anybody here from Livonia Towing or from Great Lakes Towing.
With past satisfaction with working with Mayflower Towing, did that weigh heavily on the decision to recommend this?
I would say no. I mean, the police department went into this with an open mind. You know, we've had Mayflower for the last 6 years. Well, actually, before that, we've had 2 3-year contracts with them. You know, we've been satisfied. Their response time is quick. You know, another thing to mention, the other 2 their facilities are not located within the township. Mayflower's yard is in the township. So they're coming from within our own borders, so their response time is pretty quick. Yes? What?
The question was, where is it?
It's in the city, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a Plymouth Township address. I think we've taken some runs out there in the past. I could be mistaken on that. It's
It's
kind
right
of,
on
it's
the
in a
border.
weird
It's right
area.
on the border.
It's right on the border. It's right next to the railroad property.
Yeah.
Starkweather, near Wilcox Lake.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So,
Oh, it's in here.
And I think in the current contract period, we had 6 complaints. So over the last 3 years, the police department received 6 complaints about Mayflower towing. I think half of them were just people who wanted to get their tow for free. So people complain, they think they can get out of a ticket or a bill or whatever. The other ones, I don't want to say that they were legitimate concerns. They were legitimate to the person who made them, but the staff at Mayflower were very flexible and were willing to work with us, and we were able to resolve all of those complaints. So to have 2 complaints a year in the towing business, I think is probably pretty good, so.
What are you doing how do you track those complaints?
So those are tracked by Director Fell, who's our Director of Civilian Operations. So I don't know if she uses a spreadsheet or what she does, she tracks those.
And that you share them
Oh,
with,
I'm sorry, Guardian Tracking. Yes.
you will share them with Mayflower?
Oh, yeah, yeah, Mayflower knows when we get complaints.
The biggest complaint I hear, just in general, is sometimes where people feel they've been taken when they release the vehicle, and there's many extra charges. That if, you get you pay $1,000 to get it out, and that may not be all due to storage fees but not this towing company necessarily, but sometimes there's trickery involved in getting your vehicle back.
I'm not aware of any trickery, but, some people have complained about the fees, like I said. About half of the time, it's just that they really want their tow for free. That's what it boils down to. The other time, there was some disagreements, about fees that were charged, but Mayflower was willing to give a little, and the person making the complaint was willing to give a little, and we met in the middle, so.
What are the majority of the tows that they do
This is in there, it's 181.
are what, from what?
So, I mean, they tow for private property impound, but that could be any tow company. They don't, a business owner doesn't have to necessarily.
Don't park here or you'll be towed?
Correct, yeah, but that's up to the business owner. They can call whatever tow company they want, but we do have Mayflower do quite a few of those for us. If we have an arrest and we impound a vehicle subsequent to an arrest, that would be Mayflower that we would call. They tow for accidents for us. So that's kind of the 3 main categories, and I don't really know that one outweighs the other. Probably the accidents are probably the highest number that we get.
That line item that says township residents get 2 free days of storage, is that written in the contract somewhere?
So what we have right here, that was in their bid. So I don't have a contract yet. So once the township board authorizes us to select or selects Mayflower Towing as the winning bidder, then we'll put together a contract. I'll run that by the township attorney. And we'll have to come back and you guys can weigh in on the contract.
So the half price also for lockouts, that will be in the contract?
That I would imagine would all be in their pricing sheet. Yep. So, well, now that I have it in their bid, you can bet that I'll put it in their pricing sheet, so.
Is there anything we're missing?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm happy to answer any questions
And it will
about the
be-
site visits or anything else.
3 years only?
I'm recommending a 3-year contract. Yep, that's what we've done the last 2 times, so.
And if it turns out at the end of 3 years we want to extend it, will there be
There'll
a
be a provision in there.
provision for easy extension?
Yes. Yep, and that's the
Or are
last.
they allowed to readjust their prices after 3 years?
Well, I think after 3 years, I think the fair thing to do, and I believe we did this last time, was we went to them and offered them the opportunity to adjust their prices. But if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think they did last time, but we did offer them that opportunity.
Why wouldn't we just rebid it in 3 years?
You could.
You could?
Do we want a longer contract, like 4 years?
I'm open to whatever the township board wants.
Let's just hear some discussion about that. I'm trying to think about a way to, this is a great idea to have a contract because it hopefully protects people who are operating vehicles in Plymouth Township, but it is a tremendous amount of work, or incremental. It's extra work for the police department versus chasing bad guys. So
It is.
But we
do you have any
also-
opinions?
We also saw 2 bids from other companies that I thought were well done and well received, and they showed good references, and I think to be cost conscious in 3 years at the end of the contract, we should rebid to provide the opportunity for competition as well.
But there's always a risk they'll raise the rates on the new bid, right?
Well,
So that's kind of the balance, that's the balancing act.
well, sometimes we can't, sometimes we just gotta,
So we'll keep it at 3 years as the consensus, all right?
Yes.
All right.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to
Do
approve.
you have a
Oh,
somebody has a question that they can do ask the questions now, we're on the agenda item. So do it now. No, you gotta get up there.
My daughter got T-boned on Plymouth Road. The car was destroyed. There was not one piece of glass on the road. We got charged for sweeping up the road. I was furious. And I called them up, and I don't know what company it was, but that's a standard fee. We always charge that. Now, that was ridiculous.
What was the charge?
I don't remember what it was. It's been a long time ago, but it was
What is the charge
outrageous.
here from Mayflower for?
Do you charge for sweeping
sweep
up the
up-
road if
sweep
there was
up.
nothing to sweep up?
No, I don't think that was us that was out that you're talking about, right?
Maybe
No.
not.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so there is additional labor charges for stuff like that, but I can come up there.
Sure. But if there was nothing to sweep up,
Yeah.
you charge me anyways?
No, we don't do that. Good afternoon. So we have good afternoon, Board. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to tow for you. Thank you to Deputy Chief Kudrow. Last 3 years since we partnered up, we also own other tow companies, JT Crova, Nationwide, Dalton's Tow, and we work for 28 municipalities. Out of all the 28 municipalities, just like he explained, we have very little complaints, and that's very hard to do in this industry. Everything we do, we document very well. We're gonna have pictures. There's accidents where there's gonna be a lot of debris. There's a lot of mess out there. We have street sweepers that sometimes need to come out. There's other stuff that needs to be deployed that's not on that menu, but it's all on market rates, market standards. If there is anything that happens like that, and let's say it's a citizen that it occurs to that has no insurance, that does not want to go through that route, the vehicle, there's a lot of simple options. We have hardship policies, and that's all discounted. We're not looking to, what do they say, hit a win on every vehicle. It doesn't work that way. We take care of, we're human, and we treat everybody like human when they walk in the door. But we do have a lot of technology, and if we build for something regarding cleanup or anything like that, there'll be pictures, they'll be justified. And we also work for the Wayne County Sheriff's Department too, yeah.
So you're probably well aware of some of the tactics used that end up in vehicle owners losing their vehicle.
Absolutely.
Which is their transportation
Yes.
to their job.
Yes, absolutely.
They feel helpless and feel almost duped by the system, and they just turn over their title.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford the fee to release their vehicle.
Yes.
And in some cases, it's engineered that way, so they fail and lose their vehicle.
Yes. So
We don't
have-
want that.
Yeah, so we have a lot of options, but that does not happen with us. There is some towers that actually we're fighting in other cities to get them out related to stuff like that, but that's not something you'll hear from us. Plymouth has always been a great city to work with. Most of the residents that come in, they do actually sometimes want the option of giving away the vehicle and getting rid of it. We have a smooth process for that. We waive all their towing fees. If there is an A-band fee that was charged by the state that we paid, we might charge them $40 or $140 disposer fee or something, but all their towing rates are waived 100%. Some companies they'll want the tow bill and your title. We don't do any of that. And I'd say about 90% of everything that comes through Plymouth does go through the insurance companies, and we actually, we're contracted with most of the insurance companies already.
You have a rate that you have to agree to for the insurance company?
Yeah, we have certain companies that we do have rates. We also work with insurance auto auctions. So if it's like an insurance company and it's a lower rate for some reason than Plymouth Township, we would go with that rate on that end of it.
You would go to the lower Plymouth Township rate?
Yeah, if it was a Plymouth Township rate, yeah, we'd go with that. And most of everything that we've listed, we've taken care of all the citizens of Plymouth, and I think that's the most important thing. is everybody that is in Plymouth is gonna be well taken care of. And people driving through here are also gonna be well taken care of. And the three customers that were upset over the last, those were major accidents that were, some of them were on the highway that went out 300 yards into the woods that had to be recovered. But we still worked with those customers, discounted them very low, and they still, below $700 on one of them, and the lady still let it go up for auction, and she never came and picked it up. And that was after a 30-day period.
Are you going to be working the Live Golf Tournament on August 22nd?
We will provide, so in regards to private property, by the way, we do some private property. We have our signs, you'll see them in a lot of private parking lots and items like that, and I'll get to that. On most of our private property, we are like contracted with the property owner, but all our rates are very low. And we don't just go there to take the car out. We always have to call the police out there. They're trying to get the vehicle owner to move it out, so we're not aggressive with that private property type of business. But yes, for the Live Golf, we usually have, anytime there's events, we're always gonna have extra trucks in the area, positioned, ready to go. Our average ETA's always been 7 minutes on average, and that's countywide for everything we do. We'll get Plymouth calls in Detroit for stolen recovery sometimes, and we're there right, within 10 minutes. Even less sometimes. But we have a very transparent process. The department's always had access into our system. They can see our pricing, they can see the pictures of the vehicles, case numbers, if the vehicle's still in the yard, if it's been removed, if it's went to auction, and anything like that.
Any additional questions for Mayflower while they're at the podium? We have one from the audience here.
Yes, sir.
Well, just come on up.
Yeah.
How are the residents going to be informed who the selected towing service is going to be?
Put it on Facebook, on e-news, or something.
For us, we've always been the company in Plymouth, so we do get a lot of local calls. Are you talking like for private tows or anything like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we advertise very well. We're out there, but
My wife wouldn't know that.
no.
The car's stuck in the garage and it won't start and she don't know who to call.
They could always call the police department. They'll send us out
she'll
there.
call me.
But yeah, I mean, we.
So there's nothing goes out with the township today?
I'm not sure if the township posts it on their website. I think it'd be a great idea to put that on there, but that's up to the township.
The young man in the gray beard is very involved in our Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, Glenn. Glenn actually is a great man. Met Glenn 3.5, 4 years ago. He cut a great, amazing deal with us, and for him, he's a very good negotiator. And he's at work every day. Glenn handles business. He's a very big part of the community. We've kept, being a part of the community. We do a lot of events. Anytime there's, we give back. We're not here just to make money and, cheat the people. We don't do that. We're taking care of all the customers. We're taking care of the community. If there's a problem, we take care of it. We try to make it as very simple as possible for the customer, and we try to make it very easy for the police department so they don't have to deal with the complaints. Some other companies would rather they feel like they're entitled and they'd let you deal with the police department and have the headaches and stuff like that. We do not do that. It's an honor for us to work for you.
Are you ready for a
Mr.
motion?
Supervisor?
Any other questions? Otherwise, we're ready for a motion.
Move to approve Resolution 2025-08-12-59 to award a 3-year contract to Mayflower Towing to provide towing services to the Charter Township of Plymouth. The final contract language shall be, subject to a review by the township attorney and final approval by the township board at a future date.
Second.
Second by Groth. Clerk Borba, yes. Trustee Groth?
Yes.
Trustee Clinton?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Supervisor Kermy?
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchavitz?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Did you have anything else to say finally, or you're all set?
I just want to say thank you for everything. We appreciate you guys. And in regards to the 3-year contract, and you mentioned 4-year or whatever. A lot of contracts that we have are sometimes 3-year with a 3-year extension, 3-year with a 2-year extension, and it's exercisable to the police department where they would say, we'd usually get a call, are you willing to honor your rates? You've done a good job and we're gonna extend you. They might do that. So we do have that ability. If you guys put that in the contract, we're willing to honor that. And most of our prices, we did honor very close and similar to our last contract that was here.
I just think in light of the fact that we're using citizen money, we need to be transparent and we need to provide the opportunity for.
Absolutely. And with our tolls, most of our tolls, they're not actually taxpayer dollars, but they do come out of the actual citizen, that's who's paying for it, or the insurance company.
Right.
But it's not coming from the township directly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys for the opportunity, appreciate it. Deputy Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So next item is F4, and it is a proposal to buy a used wheel loader, a real live Tonka vehicle. And this is, the city of Plymouth is purchasing a new one, and so we have this opportunity to buy at a very competitive price. The budget effect is we had allocated $65,000 for a pickup truck. We did not do that. So this will use some of that budget money, thankfully not all. And Patrick Fellrath, our Director of Public Services, will give you some details on it and tell us how we're going to use it.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, members of the board. Your Department of Public Works requests your permission to purchase one used 2008 Caterpillar 930H wheel loader from the city of Plymouth for $35,000. We're grateful for the city of Plymouth, their director, Chris Porman, and Deputy Adam Gerlach for offering this price to us for the used wheel loader. There's photos included in your packet. You may seen one of these. They're often called front end loaders or a bucket loader. So the city, they purchase these on a scheduled basis. And so they're up to purchase a new one. And they offered us at a trade-in value, Caterpillar, the manufacturer, inspected it and offered a trade-in value of $35,000. So the city extended that offer to us instead. The vehicle is in good condition. Our staff made a visit and rode the machine. We obtained maintenance records from the city. They've kept it in very good condition. Caterpillar, when they did the trade-in assessment, also inspected it. So it is well maintained. $35,000 is a great price. We did do a general search for this type of make model with equivalent run hours, and we found that the price offered to us is discounted, lower than what we were able to find.
So we don't have one of these?
We do not. We do not. I think this would provide an immediate benefit to us.
Tell them how we're loading now using the backhoe.
Yeah, we have one large backhoe. And we use that for anytime we have to dig or transport, move heavy materials. And I think our staff has evolved. We do a lot more in-house excavation and earth moving than we ever did in the distant past. And so we do a lot more water main breaks, earth excavating, and right now we're struggling to keep up with our storage yard and the stockpiles and moving the material around. And this is also very helpful for a much more efficient means to loading our dump trucks when we are on a work site. And as Supervisor Kermey pointed out, this will not increase or change the budget for this year. We did have a budgeted amount for a vehicle replacement that we determined, at least for now, we don't need to replace. So this will take place for that.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah,
Mr.
unless there's any
Supervisor,
questions.
I move to approve the purchase of a used 2008 Cat 930H wheel loader from the city of Plymouth for $35,000.
Second. Okay, moved by Treasurer Dorchevitz, second by Clerk Borba. Supervisor Kermy.
Yes.
Clerk Borba, yes. Treasurer Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Trustee Groth.
Yes.
Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next item is F5, purchasing by our police department of Axon body-worn and in-car camera systems through a 5-year purchase agreement and loan. So Lieutenant Ryan Krebs will give us some details and tell us why this is a good idea and what the benefits are to his people in the police department.
Good evening. I come before you seeking approval for the purchase of the 5-year agreement. As we began our journey to develop and figure out our video solution, we took get pricing from 5 vendors out there. And all of those, we decided collectively as a team. So I formed a team within our organization that consisted of both men and women, members of commands, records, patrol, investigations. We had the opportunity to hear and meet with sales reps from those 5 vendors. And then ultimately, we decided that Axon was going to be the best fit for us. It was going to improve officer safety, efficiency. They had the latest in technology. Their system is also, incorporates with our existing tasers that we have out there in the field. So we went ahead with that. And obviously it's an expensive project, to offset some of that cost, I submitted a standard grant this year to MMRMA, and we were awarded a little bit more than $97,000 in reimbursement for that. So the township has received those funds already on that. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding this product.
So it's a 5-year installment purchase agreement, right? So it's $100,000 a year for 5 years.
The way that it's structured, I have it laid out in the board packet. I think the first year is more, it's around $100,000, and the years after that are less. And the way that year one is so pricey is because that covers the hardware costs of the body-worn cameras and the in-car cameras and the installation costs that we had to pay.
So the grant was for how much?
It was $97,000. I think it worked out to be about 26% of the total cost of the project.
So it was it covered the first year payment, essentially.
And then 65, 66, 68, and 70.
Can you keep applying for those grants?
All the time.
The short answer is that MMRMA has changed their grant application process. And I believe that we received, for one of these, the $50,000, which is the max that an agency can receive on that.
Are you wearing one?
I am, yes. Yeah, this
Turn
is
on
the-
right now?
No, it's not. It's not recording.
You're not being arrested just yet.
Well,
I'm just curious more than everything, how do you turn on the body camera? How do you actually do
Yeah, so the body camera can be turned on in a couple different ways. One, if an officer is in a police car and they make a traffic stop, and they activate the emergency lights, there's a signal device that sends out a Bluetooth signal that turns on the body camera, it turns on the forward-facing camera, it also turns on the rear-facing camera. So that feature in itself is an improvement of the system that we had before. Before, the officers had to turn on the emergency lights, and then they also had to press the button on the body camera to activate it. So then you have the issue with officer forgetfulness. You know, if you're involved in a heated situation, you're so focused on what's going outside, you may not have the recall, the memory to be able to turn on your body camera. And we had that happen. You know, there was a foot pursuit on Sheldon Road near St. John's. The suspects were wanted for fleeing and looting out of Canton Township. Their possession maybe of a stolen car. The officer saw them, gave foot chase through the woods, caught up to one of the suspects and arrested him. And then after they secured him in handcuffs, he realized that he forgot to turn on his body camera. You know, fortunately in that example, there wasn't use of force. If there had been use of force, the transparency issue would not have looked good on the department, the township, or the officer. So this is one of the things that we looked at in our team to try to improve on the product that we have. So the other way that the body camera can be turned on, other than the emergency lights, is that we're going to be having a signal device on our holsters that once the gun is removed from the holster, it will sense, it'll emit a Bluetooth signal, which will activate the body camera as well. And then the tasers. When the taser is turned on, the body cameras turn on as well. Not only just our tasers, but any taser out there will emit that signal. So if our officers are assisting, let's say, an agency like Livonia or Canton or Plymouth City that have tasers as well, and one of their officers pulls out a taser, and for whatever reason our body camera isn't rolling or recording, it will send that signal and it will turn that body camera on.
And then what do they, at the end of the shift, they dock them or something, and that uploads
Yes,
the recording?
yeah, so that was one of the, yes. So the body cameras go into a docking station and they're uploaded. Our old system, our server was in-house here in the township. Now, the improvement is that all of that data is being uploaded into the cloud. So the system is web-based now. So the officer could log on to their MDC that's in their car or in the station and be able to review that video if needed. And it's so much easier to be able to give that information to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, because before we had to upload all of that data to evidence.com. A record staff member would do that. Now it's already loaded up to evidence.com and just transferred over to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, or even to Kevin's office as well. So it's all there. It's very user-friendly.
I'm curious too, with the body camera.
I'm sorry?
With the body camera, how would it influence the insurance? Do you think it'd be reduced because of this, now that you all have a body camera?
I'm sorry.
With the body
Regarding
camera, do you think this would reduce the insurance? Because now everybody can say, geez, I got a body camera.
You know,
It's a good thing, so you can
So the
reduce
first body
insurance.
camera system that we have, we implemented those probably in 2020.
Yeah.
So we had the Safe Fleet product for those for almost 5 years. But they were beginning to fail. The product just really wasn't as good as it should have been. I'm not sure about insurance rates,
Almost
though.
all departments are probably required to have this now, right?
Yeah, I would say there's very few departments that don't have body cameras nowadays. Yes.
It's become part of the standard of, we have, our insurer knows that we have those type of cameras, and that hopefully will affect our rates.
Yeah, I would agree with that, because they're very receptive, and they like the standard grant that I prepared and submitted to them.
Okay.
So the dash camera goes on automatically when they flip the lights on?
That is correct. Yeah, through the signal device in the car, yes. And the officer can turn it on manually as well.
And then how do they turn it off?
So there's for the dash camera, the way that turns off is on their computers, the laptops that we have in the car. There's you'll have the front facing, the rear facing, the ALPR, the automated license plate reader, and the body camera as well. When they're recording, they'll be in red. It's just a simple touch of the screen to turn them off.
So if an officer is in big duress, Can dispatch turn the camera on remotely?
No.
No.
That would be a nice feature.
There was one vendor out there that had that ability to where you could do that, but that wasn't the ideal situation for us.
Okay.
Ready for a motion or
Yeah,
any
yeah.
other questions?
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve Resolution 2025-08-12-61, authorizing the Plymouth Township Police Department to complete the purchase of the 5-year X-on body worn and fleet camera agreement using funds from the township long-term debt.
Second.
Second by Clinton. Supervisor Kermy.
Yes.
Clerk Vorba, yes. Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
Yeah.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Trustee Groth.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is F6, page 287. This is requesting the approval of the contract between Plymouth Township and Outlier, which is the contract event organizer for Live Golf, which is a competitor to the PGA that is bringing a tournament to Plymouth Township for the week of the 18th of August to the 24th at St. John's Resort. Chief Jim Nitel has been working on this diligently with our other departments, especially fire. Fire and police have had the most equity, but we have some DPW activity and several other agencies that are involved. But this contract is just between Plymouth Township and Outlier, excuse me. Go ahead.
Sir, and Outlier's a contract for Live Golf in January. It was announced that Live Golf would have an international team event at the Inn at St. John's, the Cardinal, on August the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th would be the event. Although Live Golf and their staff, as many of us have seen, have been out there for a couple months now. In the week of August 18th through the 24th, working with their security staff from Live Golf, we will have a police officer on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which they will reimburse for that. And that is what we're looking at today is the contract. As part of the contract, we've had multiple meetings with security staff on what they felt was safe numbers for police officers staffing, and then what we felt was also safe. We have details including traffic. The parking for the event will be on Ridge Road, the Ridge 5 development, south of 5 Mile. There'll be 60 buses that will transport. It'll be free parking as part of the admission into the golf event, 3 separate days. There will also be parking at USA Hockey, which will be employee parking and rideshare parking. So Uber, Lyft, those type of things will go to USA Hockey off Beck Road. We will have officers assisting with traffic at that location of Beck Road, at Ridge Road, 5 Mile and Ridge, and a significant number of officers at 5 Mile and Sheldon. For the 3 days of the event, we will, and that information will go out Friday. I'll be doing a traffic control release for the information that will be closing 5 Mile on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday prior to the event until the end of the event. So we'll have officers there. We have, and I appreciate the other agencies in the area, Canton Police Department, Livonia, Northville Township, Northville City, Van Buren, Redford, Plymouth City, Schoolcraft College, and Michigan State Police have all offered officers to assist with this. We'll have over 50 officers for all 3 of the events at various roles. We'll have officers in stationary positions on the course. We'll have rovers in the course. We'll have people in the building. And then we'll have the traffic safety on the outside. We are also working with our federal partners at the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, as well as various entities of the Michigan State Police and Wayne County Emergency Management is involved, as well as our fusion centers, the CEMIC and MIAC will be assisting with this event. As part of this, as we worked the agreements out, we pulled together a team that consisted of our attorney, Kevin Bennett, Township Supervisor, myself, Carol Roshan, Fire Chief, as well as Lieutenant Krebs and Assistant Chief Kudra. When the vendor agreement came over, we went through the vendor agreement. There were some recommendations. I'm sorry, Bob, I left you out. I apologize. You were part of that, too. Last but not least, Bob was part of that. And we sat in a room. We got a hold of the representatives from Outlier and went through the contract. There were recommendations made, and then we came up with a final product that you have in front of you. The amounts that LIV will reimburse totals $104,943.70. That's an estimate of where we're at. We certainly could have, depending on if the event's longer or shorter. With these events, Friday is just golf as part of the ticket. Saturday, there's golf and a concert. And Sunday, there's golf and a concert. So that's all part of your ticket. You can't buy a ticket to the concert. You have to buy a ticket for the golf event, and then you go into the concert for free. The parking is also free out at Five and Ridge.
Are there any practice rounds that are available for the public?
To answer your question, no. There will be practice rounds throughout the week. They'll have a pro-am on Thursday, but they're not open to the public.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And we'll have a very limited staff for those events. Yeah. So the dollar amount, as I mentioned, $104,000. For the police department, it was $76,300. For the fire department, we also have HVA that's going to be working with our fire department. Was $21,634.40. And then we have DPW, who will be assisting us with barricades on either side of 5 Mile, 5 Mile and Northville Road, and 5 Mile and Sheldon, prior to each event, and then taking them down at each event. That was $7,009.30.
So what part of 5 Mile is going to be closed to traffic, and when?
Yeah, it's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 2 hours before the event. I believe it's 8 o'clock in the morning, basically 8 to 8 on Friday. It's earlier Saturday at 6 o'clock, but it'll be closed from Sheldon to Northville Road.
Okay, that's where it's one, yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah. And then Sunday as well, there'll be a 12-hour. And on Sunday, the event's a little bit longer because they have the championship, and on the stage, I believe, of the concert, they have the championship team come out and they award them a trophy and that type of thing.
Any questions?
This is an estimate.
Correct.
So if the cost exceeds the amount that is in the contract, will they pay the additional cost? Will they reimburse the additional cost?
I believe they will, yeah.
Okay.
I don't, that number was a number, we looked at every single position out there and identified, and then we also looked at the numbers. Again, there's going to be a little bit of leeway because of traffic. If all of a sudden we have a traffic issue, we may have to hold folks over for an extra half hour, something like that. But every position was, the assistant chief who handles our budget went through and identified each of those positions and what the cost would be. So.
Thank you.
Good work.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to approve the contract between the Charter Township of Plymouth and Outlier LLC, and to authorize the Township Supervisor, Township Clerk, and Police Chief to sign the contract.
Second.
Second by Groth. Clerk Borba, yes. Trustee Groth.
Yes.
Trustee Clinton.
Yes.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Supervisor Kermy.
Yes.
Treasurer Dorchevitz.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Board.
Item F7, page 306, is an information-only discussion on upgrading BS&A, which is a company that supplies our enterprise software here, to the cloud. This is an investment in the future and it has some add-ins and add-outs. As far as, we have not put this in the budget for 2026 yet, but we will see how things tumble out with negotiations with BS&A. So Bob Dorchevitz, our treasurer, will give us some background.
Yeah, so to understand, and like Chuck said, this is not a formal presentation yet. This is kind of greasing the skids, if you will, because there's going to be some cost associated with it. But BSNA is our ERP, our Enterprise Resource Planning system. And to understand how important it is to the township, it includes the software that operates about 14 modules. And just to give you some perspective, it's our general ledger, our accounts payable, our purchase order system, our cash receiving system, our accounts receivable, our fixed assets. The building department uses it for all their permitting and all of the, they have about a half a dozen uses for it. It's our assessing, our animal licensing, it's our tax system, it runs our special assessment system, it runs our utility billing, so our water billing all comes out of BSNA. And it manages our personal property. So it's critical to the operation of the township. It's mission critical. It's arguably the most important system that we have. And it's currently run on-prem, not in the cloud. So that what that means is it's a system that was first introduced in this version in 2008, and it's solid. It runs, but it's getting old, and companies don't make a lot of investment in their old software. They're making their investments in their cloud platforms because the cloud platforms are built from the ground up and they're more fully integrated. So these systems, subsystems talk to each other, but they're not, sometimes they're not as integrated as they could be. So the challenge is, so we had BSNA in and they did a presentation. Right now it's on-prem, which means it runs on servers in this building and the data is stored here, but then it is replicated into the cloud. So we do have a pretty good strategy for our data storage, but the system's getting older. It works, and at some point we need to upgrade to the cloud, and the question is this the right time to do it? I got a couple of slides in here that I'll point out a few things from. So what we have today is called the .NET platform, and it runs on the desktops and on servers. It was released in 2008, so it's a 17-year-old product. The cloud, they rewrote the entire system into a cloud version and released it in 2021. So it's been out on the market. If we go ahead with implementing, it'll take about a year. And at that point, it'll be about 5 years old, so it'll be mature. It's maturing in terms of software. And when it runs on the cloud, then I think everybody knows what that means, but we eliminate the risk of having this on site all the time. And then so some of the other benefits you get out of this is automatic upgrades and maintenance and better security. There's disaster recovery capabilities. So what would happen if this building became uninhabitable for some reason? What would we do? And since we're on-prem, we would have to get servers and build them somewhere and install software and restore data, and we'd be out of business for weeks. But in the cloud, if it's in the cloud, we could work from home, and it would work as effectively as it does when you're sitting in the office. The big advantage, one of the biggest advantages from an end user, and BSNA in the treasurer's office, we use it all day long. We use it for tax. Every time you come in and pay a bill and you get the bill scanned, that's actually going into BSNA. If you get a dog license, that's going into BSNA. So but the databases, because it is a system that was developed in modules that were independent of each other, the database is not fully integrated in all aspects. So if you're going to hop between tax and assessing, it's a little bit clunky sometimes to do that, and it's not quite as efficient as it could be. So let me get to the punchline here. It is not cheap. Mark, well, pass these down, please. So what's happening? We get good support from BSNA when we have a problem. We call and or a question, and we get good support, but they're not really putting any R&D money into developing the .NET version any further. The features that it has are the features that it's going to have, and it's not going to have anything else. So we have to pay, in this first column, we have to pay annual maintenance fees, and this is what it totals up. There's a section towards the bottom on infrastructure because Bob Jenks was on vacation, so I threw an estimated number in there. But if you go all the way to the bottom, on the current system, we spend about $56,000 a year. On the cloud version, the subscription fee would be $93,000 a year. In the first year would include $112,000 in implementation costs. So year one would be $206,000 versus $56,000. So we basically got to come up with about $150,000 by next summer if we're going to do this.
When are they going to stop supporting what they're doing?
So what happens in this software development cycle is there's usually 3 or 4 milestones. They'll announce end of development, end of support, and end of life, at least those 3. So what happens is that they have not announced dates yet, but they're not actively doing any other development. They will announce an end of support date, and after that time, you can only get support, you pay by the drink. And then after that, they'll announce an end of life, and Windows 10, for example, is end of life in October of this year, which means, if they find a security problem, sorry, it's your tough luck. But BSNA has been, in my view, a little more generous than most companies are when they're trying to convert to the cloud. I mean, everyone wants their stuff in the cloud because it's recurring revenue. Wall Street prefers it, and they can control distribution and development easier. But BSNA is merged or was acquired with another company, and I'm expecting them sooner rather than later to start making announcements about, when they're going to sunset the on-prem version. What's also interesting about it is that the surrounding communities, I think there's a list in here of who has it around us. That was in the other one. Most of the surrounding communities have the cloud, have converted to the cloud version. So when they convert, all of our data will come over. So our data goes back to, some of it back to 2005.
Right.
All the data will come over, and it'll be a fairly smooth conversion. But it's about a year from contract to go live. So if we're going to move forward with this, a good time to do it would be in September, October at the latest, because that's a good time to do the conversion.
Does this affect is it used for elections?
No.
It has nothing to do with
So
that.
it won't affect elections?
No, other than paying people's paychecks.
Would you be able to do the taxes and the water once the cloud is there for the taxes and the water? Will they be able to do it online?
What do you mean, do it online? Pay online?
Yeah, for people can pay it online automatically.
Yes, there's a lot of features for online. Like one of the communities up north is emailing all their tax bills now. They're giving the residents the option of getting the tax bill by email because the U.S. mail, is notoriously bad. But yeah, people would continue to be able to pay online. We use a different third-party system called Point and Pay, as you know. And, but BSNA has an online payment system they're trying to get us to take a look at, which would make it a little bit more robust. So there's a lot of potential features that we haven't really even scratched the surface of. But when I do if we can get this in the budget and I bring this back for approval, to the extent that you guys care about software, I can get as nerdy with you as you want. What are your thoughts?
Are there any other offsets? Will we have to keep a server operating indefinitely, or will that be decommissioned?
No, we'll decommission that and migrate all the data.
So that's a savings, right? We don't need to buy servers in the future?
And storage.
Okay. And that isn't in here.
That's people to operate them.
Because that's a benefit that isn't captured yet. It's more soft costs.
Yeah.
And some hard costs.
I mean, we got, one guy who knows how to keep this system running. And he does a good job. It's pretty solid software, but it does go down from time to time.
If I didn't know better, Bob, I would think you have some kind of an IT background.
A little bit.
A little.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's something seriously important that we have to look
Yeah.
at.
Is there any other questions? Chuck and I just put this on the agenda as an introduction, so when it comes back, if you have any questions, but.
How much lead time do you have to have before you kick off the contract?
So they won't, until we sign the contract, they won't kick off a contract. So what do you mean lead time to implementation?
So you pay them you pay them a certain amount of money and then they start work, or is it?
Yeah, basically they'll start, if we sign the contract today, we could defer payment until January because they wouldn't start any work on it until January because they've got a pretty heavy backlog. So it's about a year implementation because of the backlog.
But then if we did that, we would get it at today's price versus.
Yeah. There's a few issues with the contract. I haven't shared it with Kevin yet. A couple things I don't like that I'm working on with them, and then I'll share the contract with Kevin and get your review. Bring it back for approval.
This is obviously important to the operation. I mean, it's
critical.
It's critical is what, the right word is critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments on this? All right, so we'll keep you posted on that. All right, this concludes the agenda, formal agenda, and this is the time for public comment on anything. 3 minutes. Come to the podium.
Good evening, folks. My name is Chris Seranian. I'm a resident, 25 years at East Lawn subdivision. As you know, they just redid our road, changing it from dirt to like a paved asphalt and opening it up to this new subdivision they're completing. My current concerns is there's some issues that some of us residents still have that have not been addressed, and we haven't seen or heard much from anybody. So I'm hoping that you haven't signed off on this yet until we get our thoughts and concerns addressed. I don't know what the best way to go about this is.
So there's no sign off yet, and we withhold money, plenty of money to fix problems. So there's a punch list, and our consultant, Jeremy Schroet, who company is managing the project, will talk to you tonight. So we're not worried about being short on money to leverage them to finish the job. The grass will be done in early September. I urge you and all your neighbors to cut the crabgrass that's there now. I notice it is not being cut.
Which majority of us have.
Yeah, some people aren't.
I did damage my lawnmower because there was this big chunk of metal that was in with the dirt and grass that they were growing that I found.
So get ready for grass seed and watering.
Are they gonna rechange because the dirt there is not
You
regular?
mean it's not topsoil?
It's not, it's a bunch of gravel and big rocks and concrete and stuff mixed in with it.
So you are planning a meeting, as I recall, I heard?
I would like to try to get the neighborhood together so that we can get our own punch list, that we can hand it off to whomever to try to get some of all of our issues addressed before this gets signed off. I also have sidewalk issues too, so.
Sidewalk issues will be unlikely that they will be changed.
Unlikely?
Right, the plan, unless there's something we don't know about, but the plan always was to just join up to the existing sidewalks, even if they undulate. So, and the grades there were chosen as an optimization of the houses that were there. Many houses are low, so they had to optimize the grade to match houses with the road. So in some cases, it's not perfect because the water will drain somewhat on sidewalks. There is sand there. I urge people to edge their sidewalks so it speeds the draining. When you have grass hanging over the edge, it doesn't drain as quick. But the grading will most likely, unless there's something glaring, it's to the drawing, to the CAD, and it will not be changed.
So the sidewalks are now gonna be our issue. Because you guys come through and assess them every so often.
Yes.
Put these little X's on it, and we have to pay for them. To me, this is all brand new construction. It should all be brand new from the sidewalks out to the road.
But that wasn't the assumption for cost.
Well,
It was
there's
done
other-
before I took over, so that was started in November of 2024. So the contract is written as it is, and it's not going to be changed.
Okay, but the monies that you have set aside could address these issues and problems,
Not
right?
necessarily, but we'll talk about that. The money that is withheld, which is commonly done in contracting, is to fix problems where they don't meet the CAD or the drawing.
Well, who decided this stuff? Because, hear me out real quick. Where I'm at, we had trees along the easement, right? And there was also other residents that had trees across the street. Well, they removed their trees and redid all their sidewalk because of the uneven sidewalks. They removed my trees, 4 of them, and didn't touch anything, so it's still all uneven. That's what I'm talking about. Who decided this, that they get all this done and my property gets nothing done?
So Spalding to Decker, the consulting engineers decided that.
Did they?
Yes.
But, okay, so.
Well, here's my concern, is you have all this digging and moving of earth, and you probably are creating some settling of,
Well, let's hear him say,
Well,
but
okay.
I've watched that project
Yeah.
closely. The sidewalks didn't
Well,
move.
we did too.
Yeah,
On a daily
and so
basis, yeah.
I just think that it was ill-conceived to not replace all the sidewalks, because the construction itself and moving of trees can cause settling. And I've gone through the subdivision and saw probably a half a dozen spots where it gathers water. And in a couple years, when we go through there, and when he goes through there again, he's gonna tag them to fix these sidewalks, and it's gonna be their cost when everybody else got their sidewalks fixed. And so I think the thing that we should do is go through and reassess those sidewalks and then do a 3-part payment. A third from the township, a third from the contractor, and a third from the contractor, our engineers and fix this problem. And first of all, it's unsightly, and really there are places where it collects water. And I think part of that is a product of the development itself.
You mean the new development? Well,
Yes.
let's hear from the consulting engineers who studied this carefully. One thing to remember, if we did nothing, the sidewalks would still have to be replaced at the homeowner's expense, as with the gravel road.
But there were a lot of them were broken and things like that during the construction.
Well, if they were
and all
broken
that,
by
okay?
construction,
They
we
should have just
fixed
left
that.
them then and not replaced them and let us, you know.
No, we fixed, if the contractor broke them during construction, they are fixed or will be fixed. So let's go ahead, Jeremy. You know this project better than anybody else. This was agreed to over a year ago.
Okay,
So
well, okay.
I voted no, but still, I own it now, but I still can't exceed the budget. But go ahead.
No, I think that you're right, that any sidewalks that were damaged as a part of construction are going to be replaced as a part of construction. Again, the sidewalk flags that were picked out for replacement were either due to ADA ramps, you need to put all new ramps in, or it was sidewalk that was either damaged or, broken to a point where we had no other choice. Now, keep in mind.
Or uneven with the trees, because the trees across the street caused their sidewalks to be uneven like mine, but they got all new sidewalks.
So
on the east side of East Lawn, is that what you're referring to? Or the west
That would
side?
be, yes, that would be it'd be west side of East Side Drive.
The west side of
You're on
East
the
Side.
east side of East
I'm on
Side.
East Side Drive.
But you're on the east side of East Side Drive.
Correct.
Not to keep saying east.
So the west side of East Side Drive is where it was replaced, the trees
Yes.
Yeah, those
Where the
trees, you
trees
can
were-
explain what they were. They were very close to the curb.
Right, very, very close to the curb. So I think one thing we need to keep in mind too is that all of these, many of these sidewalks that have water on them now had water on them previously. That entire area used to be flooded during any rain event. That's really the purpose for the job, was to get rid of that storm water and build all new storm infrastructure through not only curb and gutters, but also all new storm sewers.
So it should have been
Again,
engineered for water drainage from the sidewalks to also drain off too, right? This
So we
has
can't-
all been part of the,
I think what Chuck was alluding to is that there's a happy medium. We're collecting all the water that used to go to the first floor elevations. I don't know if you're aware or not, but a lot of General Drive used to flood all the way up to the first floor elevations of those
Correct.
houses. That was the
East
purpose
side,
of
we didn't have a
eliminating that.
problem.
Those houses sit lower than the road. There's nothing we can do about that outside of raising a house, right? So again, all we can do is collect the majority of that storm water, cut it off before it gets to those houses and those sidewalks, and transport it via storm sewer out to the ultimate outlet. And just as a reminder, this whole project was set up as originally it was going to be an SAD, and that SAD was going to involve both Plymouth Oaks and the subdivision to the north, and they were going to essentially split those costs, which would have resulted in something around the line of $5,000 per home. But what we ended up working with the developer on was to cover that entire cost. Again, you're limited to the 1.8 million. So 1.8 million, you got to make choices, and the choice is you need to eliminate the stormwater. We can't have flooding in first floor elevations anymore. We need to have a road that's approvable by Wayne County and can accommodate traffic up and down that road. We need to have a road that can accommodate the semi-trailers that are housed at General Drive. And we need to have sidewalks that are ADA accessible up to those corners and around those corners. But we can't afford all of the sidewalk to be removed and replaced. They're limited funds. It's only the funds that we got from the developer. There is no township dollars going into it at this point unless, we go from there.
so you can't go back to the developer and get this, because this is just.
This is an agreement that was executed.
I just want it fixed. I want it done right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting a brand new road, brand new sidewalk, it's a whole new infrastructure. It should be done correctly, first off, and then after that, I don't have a problem paying for the sidewalks that need to be replaced or whatever, but right now, again, he's
Those
right in that general
sidewalks-
area where the trees are, and they've been there for, like I said, I've been there for 25 years. I haven't had any problems with this much water on there as there is now.
Well, we replaced many of those sidewalks back 3 years ago as a part of the sidewalk replacement program. So we have been in there addressing those. And a lot of the defects that you're seeing would have been defects whether or not the road construction came through or not. That's the problem that we're dealing with, is we have limited funds. We have to make choices, and the choices are, we need to address the stormwater. We can't have flooding into first floor elevations anymore.
But
and we
that's
got to
on
meet
general,
Wayne County standards.
right? That's general. What about east side now? What if you built something in that's now causing other issues?
I don't think it's causing, if anything, the issues are significantly better than what they were. We're leaving it better than where we started.
I tend to disagree, but okay. But again, if put yourself in my shoes.
I
If
get
you were the resident where I am now, would this be acceptable to you? You're telling me yes, it would be acceptable because there's not budget there?
I've had an SAD through my neighborhood, so I'm only saying that from that position of, if I had originally been presented with an option to pay for a road that cost $30,000 and now I don't have to, I understand that there's nuances to that, and there are things that choices have to be made. And in this instance, we addressed the main issues, which were stormwater flooding and roadway that meets Wayne County standards, and then ADA accessibility.
Let's see your, let's get to your address here and look at the old condition.
It's right where that red truck is, right there.
Okay, the red truck.
Yep.
We're right there, okay.
Yeah, there's 2 trees on the left, 2 trees on the right.
Those are gone.
They're gone.
They're gone, but the sidewalk and everything.
Right there.
Yeah, right in that area. It's-
Right where,
it
that area,
floods.
and on the other side of where those
Yeah.
trees are too, yeah, there and
floods
there.
there, yeah.
Yep,
I went by and took pictures of it.
Yeah.
okay, but across the street, if you spin around, they had the one big tree there, and on the other side, they replaced all that sidewalk, like from their driveway all the way down.
That tree is gone now, correct?
Both those trees are gone, yes. But they got brand new sidewalk all the way across there, and it's just like, well, why is mine different? Why is it?
There was a very logical reason, and I think, Jeremy, you know what it is, and.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to the model,
Yeah.
but it has to do with grading, it has to do with.
It was very
payment,
logically
it has
done
to
and
do
well
with-
thought out
yeah,
because
Well,
there was a
but
strict
logic
budget.
still doesn't help me for the water, and, okay, in the wintertime, this is gonna
Ice.
be a problem, huge ice problem. So am I liable for lawsuits if somebody slips and on this? All the other sidewalks now are pretty level and they drain. As soon as it rains, it drains. Everything's clear except for the 4 spots that I have.
Well, right now, we can't give you satisfaction. We will consider,
All
we
right.
will.
Just
but-
hear me out, yes, thank you. I appreciate that, but moving forward.
But I don't want to get your hopes up. This deal increased the value of your house by over $50,000. And so.
Again, I didn't want this road.
I didn't either.
It's gonna increase a lot of traffic.
I agree
It's
completely.
actually
I didn't
gotten hotter
either.
now because my house is hotter. I don't have the shade from the trees.
Right.
Okay? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Unfortunately, when it was approved, we couldn't get one person from your neighborhood to come here and oppose it. We attempted it. I attempted it. And you remember the lady who lived on Waverly, who kind of was leading the opposition? I forgot her name. What was it? Steele. She tried to roust people up. There wasn't one person here. And your other neighbor at the other end of the street was the primary advocate of this whole thing. She led the group called Friends of East Lawn or something.
I'm not aware of her.
Oh, yeah. We know, her name is Nancy.
Okay.
So she was
Anyways,
a big leader.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate listening, but moving forward, I would like to see that.
All right.
We get a list together and see.
Well, that's
if we
going to
can-
happen. You have the punch list of open issues.
Yeah, so I did send the punch list to some of the neighbors, and we're going to suggest that, if you want to get together as neighbors and come up with your list of punch list items and send that back to us, like, more than willing to look through them. There's a whole series. All the items you're talking about are already on that list, and we have north of $100,000 in retainage, so we have the ability to go and, collect that money from the contractor and execute those final items if we need to. But again, I think part of the concern is that the grass isn't growing and that there's no topsoil in, but you got to remember, it's been 90+ degrees out. We're trying to install this topsoil and seed at a time when it will grow, and right
Well,
now is not that
They
time.
should have installed the topsoil correct topsoil at the time and graded it out, and we wouldn't
Yeah.
have to redo this, which is costing more money and more
It's
time.
not they're two different contractors. So the general contractor is the one who handles the mass grading. That's the people who graded it out behind the curbs. There's a separate contractor, subcontractor who handles the restoration piece of it. That's the people who are gonna come and clean up the debris, install the topsoil and install the seed. And that's something that we're trying to address at a time when you're gonna have a better opportunity for the grass to establish rather than trying to do it in the 90-plus degree heat.
Which is the second week in
Personally, I mean,
September.
the grass to me is irrelevant. More, I would rather see safety of people, because we get a lot more foot traffic now. Everybody is coming down there more often now because it's not dirt, and it just seems to be more, wow, what's going on here? So there's more possibility of somebody injuring themselves on my property due to this negligence of not taking care of this the first time. And that's what I'm really concerned about.
How many flags do you say are bad?
Flags meaning the squares, just off the top of my head, maybe 20.
20.
I'm also gonna say, from a liability perspective, all of the items that are left out there, the contractor's aware of, they are liable for all of that. It's their insurance and their bonding that's still being held, as well as the retainage, until that project is closed out by the township, so.
So once it's done, and then it becomes my problem.
Well, once it's done, they will have addressed all the punch list items. They will not be released until they address all the punch list items.
Can we put that on a punch list item as the sidewalk?
What was that?
Could we put my sidewalk issues as part of the punch list?
I think Supervisor Kermy addressed that we're gonna consider that and go from there.
But we're not getting your hopes up or whatever, just, we'll take a look at it, but there is very little margin for money, so.
You've got
and the township is-
$100,000 you said $100,000 you can get from the contractors to fix.
So again, the retainage is a legal retainage of payment that they are due. It's only held in case they don't finish the job that was issued to them. It's not physical money that the township gets to spend. When they close that project out, they get that retainage back. That's money that's owed to them. It's just held in escrow until they complete all the items.
Because
It's our
sometimes
leverage.
contractors have reputations of saying, I got a better deal somewhere else, I'm gonna leave you. They do that in residential all the time. So when you do municipal stuff, this is the leverage, is we retain the 100,000, and they will, money talks. They will do what he asks when they have $100,000 waiting to be paid, and it doesn't happen until he signs off.
Okay, so
So I'm glad you came. The address, what is your address there?
11426
11426
East Side, one word.
East
Drive.
Side. And
It's in
yeah,
Plymouth.
you have the best looking house on the street there, right?
No.
It's the brick house, right?
It's the brick house, yes.
That's the best looking house. Classic house.
No, it's one of the first built, they're 42, so.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
I
thanks.
appreciate your time, folks.
All right,
Again,
thanks
I
for
mean, I'm
coming.
just a little frustrated with this whole thing. and
I understand
I've been very
that.
patient throughout this. I've been working with the contractors, and then it's all said and done, and it's like, well, this is not acceptable.
Historically, Wayne County ought to have regraded that road and paved it.
Well, they
Historically.
should have brought the
They
grade
ought
down
to,
again.
well, the grading, yeah, I've driven it. I've walked it.
Because it's
With
gone
Adam-
up
with
about a
Adam
foot
Ray
since
Steele.
I moved there 25 years
And
ago.
I-
Wayne County caused the problem
The
to begin
nature of
with.
that neighborhood is gone. It's sad.
In my time on the board, this is the second time we replaced the storm sewer. We did it once in a separation in the 90s, and then we did it once last fall. This is the second time, all at the township expense, or expense other than, the first one was the township, other than Wayne County, who has responsibility, and they damaged the sewers because they continually they brought in gravel instead of learning how to properly drive a grader like what they used to do. They just kept raising the road to
Exactly.
above the grade of the houses.
And which was worse over in general side, but
Yes.
on east side, we were still above water.
It was complete incompetence over decades that just continued.
All right. Well, thank you again, folks, for your time. I know it's getting late. Appreciate it.
Mr.
Thank you for your
Serenian,
patience, too, folks.
I don't know if you remember, but I was working in the clerk's office when you moved here and you registered to vote. And as I recall, your hair was dark, kind of like mine was dark.
Yes.
So 25 years have gone by pretty quick, haven't they?
It has, and yes.
Yes.
This isn't helping my hair either, so.
I just wanted you to know.
The
I
project
remember
made
you.
it more
Thank
gray.
you. It's good seeing you again.
Call Jeremy Schott every week.
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
No, because he costs up $300 an hour, and we
That's
pay the
perfect.
bill.
That's perfect.
No, $300 an hour from taxpayers' money.
Well, with that, which I'm helping fund, so it's good.
Thank you.
No, it's not.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, any other comments? Okay, board comments. Bob Dershowitz.
Nothing here.
Sandy Grove.
Nothing?
John Stewart.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, next meeting is August, oh, John, forgot you, John, sorry.
Mark.
Mark, duh. You think John used to sit down there, right? Next meeting is August 26th. We will have the Big Tree Contest winners. Assessing will do a pitch on what their job is and what they're doing. We will have the WATUA budget, which is the Western Utilities Township Authority annual budget. We may have some other things.
Water and sewer rates.
That's right, water and sewer rates, which is a big one. They will become effective on September 1, right, Bob?
Right.
That's our target. So look forward to more money coming out of your pocket. When you water your lawn, the new lawn, it'll cost you more money, unfortunately. What else we have? And that's,
Do you have the fire consulting?
oh, fire consulting we were going to do on September 9.
Okay. And we do need, again, to talk about the senior situation because I believe their money is out at the end of August.
No, that's not true. They gave me a piece of paper that shows, in fact, shows that they have projecting $25,000 in their budget, in their cash on hand on December 31st. The woman's name is Cindy. She's the one that produced the document. And I got it from Bobby Pummel. She handed it to me. And she said, we're good till the end of the year. Well, who are you hearing it from? Bobby Pummel?
And Cindy, yes.
That's bizarre, because that means somebody's not telling the truth. So I have the piece of paper they gave me, and they felt comfortable for them, but,
Okay.
all right, so I will, did they give you the piece of paper they gave me? Or I'll give you the piece,
I
the
can't
one
tell you.
pager that they gave me, so oh, by the way, we are potentially working on a needs survey for seniors with Wayne State University and the city of Plymouth. No action yet, but we've made the move and told them we're interested in doing a needs survey. I know Bobby said she didn't think we needed needs survey.
Never hurts.
Never hurts. A little more information, the better. Data. All right.
Mr. Supervisor, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Meeting